This guy is a wrecking machine, and he's hungry.
All of you chumps are gonna bow. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
Money.
You're listening to The Real Estate Debate with Mr. Credit on AM 760 KFMB. If you'd like to contact Mr. Credit, visit mrcredit.org.
All right, welcome to another edition of The Real Estate Debate, where we debate the hottest topics in San Diego real estate. Judging the show with me today, Dale Intrican from HomeLendingSanDiego.com. Dale, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Fantastic. I would rather be nowhere else than right here doing the real estate debate with you. Now, you're the judge today. You've never been on the real estate debate before. How do you feel about that?
I'm cautiously optimistic that I'm going to learn some things about real estate today. I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great time.
Okay, well, great. It's great to have you. That's Dale Intrican from HomeLendingSanDiego.com. Dale, let's do the mortgage minute real quick, if we can. Just tell people what's going on in the mortgage industry. I think the biggest thing we saw in the news this week was Ben Bernanke, of course, coming out and saying, I'm having trouble refinancing my house, as if we needed any more negative publicity about people qualifying for mortgages. Tell us, the reality behind probably Ben's situation and then the average person qualifying for a loan here in San Diego.
Okay, so I would say the point he was trying to make was that he was trying to get across that the housing market the lending standards are a little bit too tight right now. And
do you believe that?
I do to some degree. I don't think that it's all the way, but according to a new index by CoreLogic, we are working within the tightest standards since 1998, or possibly before.
Okay.
They're saying CNN Money said 1 in 4 people who are applying for a mortgage right now are not able to get it.
Well, how many people should get a mortgage that are applying for it?
Not 100%.
Not 100%. So
No.
1 out of 4 kind of sounds about right to me. So reality, is it difficult to get a home loan, or is it the way it should be?
It's to me, I believe it's the way it should be. You have to qualify. You have to have a job. You have to have pretty fairly good credit. You have to be able to repay. Those are some of the new regulations that came out. Now, could it be looser? Yeah, it could be looser, and it probably will be at some point.
Okay. Well, for more information about refinancing or pre-qualifying for a home loan, visit HomeLendingSanDiego.com, or you can call Dale Intrican directly, 619-379-7101. Are you ready to meet our contestants? All right, let's do it. We've got everything in here today. Past champions. We've got newbies in here today. We've got always the bridesmaid, never the bride going on today. Just a little needle, Seth, before I introduce you.
Thanks, Jared.
We've got Brett Dickinson in here today, who's a past champion on the real estate debate with Pacific Sotheby's in La Jolla, and Brett, SanDiegoHomes.com. Brett, how you doing, man?
Very well. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, you've had some pretty big sales recently, man. You're like the man around here.
Yeah, well, I had a couple of great deals that went through. They were difficult. We had an $11 million last year and then an $8.2 million this year. It was the highest one on La Jolla. Up until recently, someone actually tied that. But yeah, I've had a couple of good years. It's been going pretty well.
Well, welcome back to the
you.
Real Estate Debate. It's great to have you today. Brett is trying to become only the third person ever to be a multi-time winner on the Real Estate Debate. Of course, also trying to do that exact same thing is Voltaire Leppi with Foster Hamilton. Are you representing Chula today, Voltaire?
Yeah, South Bay.
That's right. And you've got a number of different websites, consumer-oriented. What's one of them that people can go to get good information from?
Freepropertyevaluations.com if you want to find out the value of your home.
Mm-hmm.
Freepropertyevaluations.com.
Okay, great stuff. And it's great to have you back in the
Thank
studio,
you.
Voltaire.
Good to be here.
Awesome. And I mentioned him earlier. Seth Robinson is here from RedTreeRealty.com. Seth, I don't needle you because I enjoy it. I needle you because I feel like I have to poke you just a little bit. Whatever will get that extra point out of you. You finished second twice by 1 point. So how do you feel today about walking home with the Golden Microphone Trophy?
I hope I can go home and sleep tonight because it's been a couple months since I've been able to do that. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident. And I left my baseball bat in the car because they wouldn't let me bring it in. But I'm going to be all right.
It's the security, man. Sorry. I know you're harmless, but they don't. We've also got a first-timer in the studio today. A good buddy of mine, Rob Cunningham, is here with RE/MAX and RobCTheKey.com. What's up, Rob?
Hey, glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes, it is great to have you here. It's your first time in this environment. How you feeling?
Yes, I'm excited.
You think you're going to win today?
Yes.
All right, well, let's jump right into it then. First thing we're going to do today is take the temperature of the market, as I call it. How would you describe the current state of the San Diego real estate market with one word? You've got about 30 seconds. Brett Dickinson, go.
I would still say it's active. I think I expressed that the last time I was in. In La Jolla, last month we did more than 70 deals. In a good year, we do approximately 700 or 800 deals in a year. We're still on pace to do at least that, which is a very healthy market. The only thing is that although there are a few high-end properties selling, we are predominantly selling properties below $3 million. And interestingly enough, properties above $3 million, more than 50% of those sell in the fourth quarter. So to no avail. It's an interesting statistic based on our market. It's 40 or 50% of the properties in that range sell at that time of the year. So it's not the time to take your property off the market. It's actually time to put it on in that range. Now, below that range, it's about 25% of the market sells in that area, but we're still very healthy. I mean, we're moving. I'd say we're active. We got 4.2 months of inventory. So that's still low inventory.
So if you've got a high-end listing, what you're saying is now is actually the time to put it on the market because, especially in the La Jolla area, that's when they sell the most.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I talked to several of my clients, and they were considering taking their property off the market in the fourth quarter based on what we see on the news and on the radio. Mm-hmm. And actually, they've decided to keep it on through the end of the year. So I actually had my best quarter at the end of the year last year.
Great stuff from Brett Dickinson, Pacific Sotheby's in La Jolla. Voltaire Leppi, how would you describe the current state of the San Diego market with one word?
Opportunistic. So I believe it's an opportunistic market just because, the price of a home is the price that you buy it for plus the amount that it costs to borrow money. So, long story short, right now interest rates are, in the low fours, prices, they're starting to decline a little bit with inventory obviously going up. So that suppresses prices. So, I think it's a very opportunistic market for buyers. Now, we're going into the winter months. Unlike La Jolla, most of the real estate market during the winter months, prices drop, right? So it's a good opportunity just because a lot of buyers stop during the winter months. They take the holidays off. So it's a good time if you're serious to go out there and purchase a property. Now, if you're a seller, it's a good time to sell just because there's going to be some, solid buyers out there, looking right now. And at the same time, you can still sell towards the peak of the market, even though I think we already peaked, but it's a good time to sell and get top dollar.
Okay. So what I'm hearing from you is if you're a buyer, stay in the fourth quarter and you might find yourself some deals. Good stuff from Voltaire Leppi with Foster Hamilton. Seth Robinson, describe the current state of the San Diego market with one word.
I think for the first time in a long time, it's consistent. We've had, in my market area, 56 listings. I farm a very specific market, and in that area, we've had 56 listings on the market.
What is that area? Tell us that
Bay
area.
Park, Bay Ho,
Okay.
and just a little bit of Claremont.
Okay.
I do most of Central San Diego transactionally, but where I do my primary marketing is in that area. And the inventory has been incredibly consistent. There's usually about 5 or 6 closings a month, and there's usually about 5 or 6 new listings a month. So it's an incredibly consistent, fluid situation over there where you can depend on it realistically, and that's new in the last 4 or 5 months.
Wow, I'd say that's new in the past 10 years probably in the San Diego market. So you're telling me we're actually in a normal, peaceful place, and it's the first time we've heard that. Good stuff there.
In Bay Park.
In Bay Park. From Seth Robinson, RedTreeRealty.com. Rob Cunningham with RE/MAX. How would you describe the current state of the market? One word.
I'd call it realistic. I think sellers have to be realistic about their expectations and their pricing. And I also think that buyers have to be realistic about what caused prices to get to where they are today. The activity we're seeing is much more realistic than it's been in the past. The inventories returning to normal levels, and buyers are buying at a more healthy rate. It's becoming a more normal real estate market.
So when you say buyers are buying at a more normal rate, what do you mean by that?
There's just not the urgency or hysteria involved. There's more homes to choose from. So if a home comes up for sale, it's not like, well, there's not going to be another one coming up in the neighborhood for 3 months. It's, we'll get out there when we can. We'll take our time and go about it right. We're going to research our offer instead of moving forward with such urgency because there is such limited inventory to choose from.
Okay. No, that makes sense to me. And I think if there's a slowdown or an increase in inventory, that might actually help consumers make smarter decisions because you don't have that hysteria. You don't have to say, all right, well, this is going to be gone in 10 hours. You might have 10 days to make a decision. So that I would see that as a very, very good thing. You're listening to The Real Estate Debate. You can listen to all the episodes on therealestatedebate.com. If you have questions about real estate, call the helpline. It's 100% free to get your questions answered at 888-888-0154. Coming up, the lightning round. We'll have our contestants give you their smartest advice in San Diego real estate when we come back on the Real Estate Debate with Mr. Credit, AM 760 KFMB.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Debate with Mr. Credit on AM 760 KFMB.
All right, it's time to check in with the judge, Dale Intrican from HomeLendingSanDiego.com. Dale, what are the scores of the Real Estate Debate right now?
All right, through the first round, we got Brett with 5. We got Seth with 4, Voltaire with 4, and we got Rob with 2.
All right. So, Rob, you got some catching up to do. Brett, you've taken an early lead, my friend. We're starting the lightning round with Voltaire Leppi. Voltaire, what is the best thing or things about buyers and sellers having access to so much information on the internet about real estate?
Okay, well, the best thing is knowledge and instant gratification. So right away they could, check out prices, condition of properties, trends, rates, etc. So basically, I'll give you a quick example about a friend that I had. He went out there 5 years ago, didn't have this information in front of him like it is right now. And long story short, he didn't know the market. He missed an opportunity to buy a great deal in a great neighborhood because it was the first home that he saw. Had it been today, he would have had that information ahead of time, and he would have, seized the opportunity to buy that property.
Okay. All right. Makes sense. Voltaire, good stuff. Now that's the opportunity to know the market more quickly. I think that makes a lot of sense. Seth Robinson, what are some of the best things about buyers and sellers having access to so much information on the internet about real estate?
Yeah, I think it's a lot the same. It's the information that's available out there. But primarily, the best thing is they have realistic expectations right from the get-go. They're not going to go ask you to find them the $300,000 house in La Jolla. So they have an idea where they want to go, how they want to get there, and what they can afford, and what areas they should be in. So your average consumer is coming to you at a much higher educated position than in previous years.
Okay. All right. I would say that too. And, some people would say that some of the information out there is misleading. And I think that's something we'll probably cover at some point here. Rob Cunningham, in your opinion, what is the best thing about buyers and sellers having access to all this information online?
As long as you're able to keep yourself from being paralyzed by the amount of information that's online, I think the ability to access the information is very empowering for the consumer. For example, if you're a seller, you can look and find out that over the past 30 days in San Diego, there was almost 2,500 homes that sold. That's virtually 87 homes a day selling. So you're able to inspire confidence in yourself and know moving forward that things are going to happen.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a really good way to look at it. We don't think about it that way, but you're right. I mean, a typical market, we are selling about 100 homes a day or ish.
Right.
That's a lot of activity. If you really think about how few homes there are for sale, number one, and just in San Diego in general. Good stuff. Brett Dickinson, what is the best thing about buyers and sellers having access to so much information on the internet, in your opinion?
For me, it's conversation and networking. The majority of my clientele are either businessmen or women. They're CEOs, they run companies. And so what I found when I get into the business, what was important for me to have an understanding of the stock market, of businesses, how they function. So now what happens is we can actually have an intelligent conversation about an area of my expertise. And so the client and I can now talk about, did you see Bill Gates just bought the Jenny Craig Ranch? And did you see that so-and-so owns this property? And then they look up records and then they understand it. So what I find for me, it makes networking, conversation, interacting so much easier because we all have kind of a basic understanding, and it allows me, if I'm knowledgeable of my area, to be able to say something they don't know. So in a way, it establishes credibility in a different way than feeling like you're being undermined by the fact that they know so much about it. But I find it's a great networking opportunity. So when I go out, we can always talk about real estate because everybody's knowledgeable.
Yeah, very, very good point. Everybody is, you're right. Everyone does want to talk about real estate. They ask me about real estate all the time. It's really interesting. All right, Voltaire, the second round, the second portion of the lightning round today is just kind of going to the flip side. So what is the worst thing about buyers and sellers having access to so much information online these days?
It's a double-bladed sword. It's knowledge. And the reason why is because they're getting all this knowledge. They're not sure exactly how to translate the information that they're receiving. So they think they're experts right away. You know, the real expertise comes with experience, with the number of properties that you sell. So, for example, you know, you could read a book on how to cut someone's hair, right? But
have you ever done that before?
Yeah, like how many guys have cut their kids' hair? You know, and it's a lot of guys because there's a bunch of messed up haircuts out there, right? So, you know, at the end of the day, it comes with experience. So they think they're experts, but they really need an agent to help them.
That's great. And I think you made a really, really good point there that I wanted to kind of illuminate. It's actually one of the fundamental principles in Deepak Chopra's book, The Book of Secrets, which is that there's a difference between knowledge, information, and wisdom. Information is sort of chaotic. Knowledge is when you are able to apply the information, and wisdom is when you have had a tremendous amount of time to do both. So really good points there. Seth Robinson, on the flip side of this thing, what's the worst thing about buyers and sellers having access to so much info?
You can't regulate whether or not they're getting good information. And there's everywhere, there's a blog that, you know, somebody's representing themselves to be the professional in the field. And a lot of times they're very far off base. And, you know, people are reading them as a trusted source in the industry. And in reality, they're getting a lot of misinformation and giving people a lot of misleading facts and, you know, misleading ideas. And so it just gives, in some instances, not always, but it gives another barrier to have to overcome with somebody because they've got this mindset now moving forward from, you know, somewhere that they read this information, and you have to re-educate them and explain, you know, the whole process over again.
Okay, that makes sense to me as well. Rob Cunningham, in your opinion, what's the worst thing about all this information being online?
I think with the plethora of information available, there can be problems psychologically, as it, like I said earlier, it may cause people into a place of inaction. If they're too busy analyzing and they're paralyzed by the information, that may bring about some opportunity cost. You know, they're not able to make the decision on the property or to whether or not to sell because they're too busy debating with themselves and looking at every fact and figure to find out if it's the right time, when really they should be coming to the professional to find out the best source of information and how they should be moving forward.
Paralysis by analysis. It's kind of like you hear a lot of, well, I'm not going to go there. But it's kind of like, you know, people in the past, they used to get married right away before you got to figure out what everybody's flaws were. And then you had to stick together. And now people take a lot of time finding out what all the flaws are, and they psych themselves out of it. Guilty of the same thing.
They take inventory.
Exactly. We derailed slightly. Brett Dickinson, what, in your opinion, is the worst thing about buyers and sellers having access to so much information on the internet now about real estate?
Well, for me, the biggest thing in a relationship with, you know, not someone you're dating, but also someone you're doing business with is trust. So the problem is that what we're all facing is that who do you trust? Do you trust the information? Do you trust Zestimate? Do you trust? So the problem is you're in these transactions and you're telling people the way the transaction works, how the negotiation may or may not happen. And the level of trust is being undermined all the time by what they're seeing on the internet. And the internet is helpful, and it's a plus and a minus. But by the same token, at the end, you've got to have a certain level of trust with your agent, with the information, with the people you're dealing with regarding the transaction. Otherwise, as you say, you become paralyzed.
Yeah. In fact, I think you do. You have to take inventory of who do you actually trust, because you're going to be trusting someone. Are you trusting the Zestimate? Are you trusting your agent? You got to kind of pick your lane and stay in it. And a lot of people's change lanes, and that's what causes confusion. Great stuff from our in-studio panel. When we come back, we will have a score update. We'll let you know how the leaderboard looks. And we'll get to topic number 2 on the real estate debate. We'll make you smarter than everyone else on AM 760 KFMB.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Debate with Mr. Credit on AM 760 KFMB.
All right, welcome back to the Real Estate Debate. Listen to all the past shows on therealestatedebate.com. Let's check in with the judge, Dale Entrikin from homelendingsandiego.com. Dale, what are the scores looking like?
Yeah, we have a really, really neck and neck race here. We got Brett and Voltaire both with 9.
Okay.
Seth and Rob are both with 8.
Wow. Wow, fellas. Nice comeback, Rob. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Seth, you are going to start debate topic number 2. Home sellers need some serious help in this market. Okay. Give us your best tips for both of the following. anyone currently with a home on the market that isn't under contract, or someone who is about to put their home on the market?
For somebody who has their home currently on the market and it's not under contract, you need to look closely at the service that you're receiving from your agent, what kind of marketing that you're receiving from that agent, and whether or not you feel like they're doing everything that they can to get your home the exposure that it needs. Right now, because of the way the market has shifted, it requires a lot more effort to sell a house right now. It used to be you just take some pictures on your cell phone, throw it up there on the MLS, and bang, you had 6 offers the next day. You choose which one you want to, and you move on. Right now, you have to compete for those offers. You have to take professional pictures. You have to spruce up the property a little bit. Spend the extra $2,000 to touch up your property. Make sure that it presents itself well and it shows well, so when people come through, they actually want to buy your home. Much of the same for people who are going to put their home on the market soon. You should interview very closely the agents and ask them very direct questions as to what their plan is to getting your home sold. They needs to have, right now everything is so visual on the internet. People scroll through pictures and that's how they pick which homes they want to go see.
Yeah.
So if the pictures are not representing your home well, your home just isn't going to get sold as fast as it would if there was good pictures. Is the front yard manicured? Is it taken care of? Are all of these things, actually being done? Are you giving yourself, and is your agent giving you the best opportunity to sell your house at the right price?
Okay, good stuff. That's Seth Robinson from RedTreeRealty.com. Rob Cunningham. Home sellers, I believe, need some serious help in this market. We see a lot of price reductions out there. Over 50% of the homes on the market have price reductions associated with them. Give us your best tips for these two scenarios. Anyone with a home currently on the market that's not under contract, or someone who's about to put their home on the market.
Got it. So my sellers out there, first thing I need you to do is take a deep breath, because everything's going to be okay and we'll know it's going to work out. And the first thing is pricing. Pricing's everything right now. You have to be realistic, aggressive, and meticulous in your pricing. Look, if you're 2% overpriced in this marketplace, you're not going to sell. And if you're 2% underpriced, well, you just left a significant sum of money on the table. The second thing I have is that accessibility is key. You have to make it easy for buyers to see your home. Just like in soccer, you have to take as many shots as possible just to score a goal once or twice. And the third thing I have is simple. Just declutter your property, keep the house clean and smelling nice. I want you to go ask someone who is not your friend how your house looks and smells. And if you do those 3 things, you will sell and move on to your next project or your next endeavor in life.
Yeah, check on your Facebook friends. Like, is anyone really a good smeller? Does anyone have an ability to smell well? Because we'd like to come down and smell our house.
I always think ask someone that doesn't like you, because they're going to tell you exactly what needs to happen to make sure that house is smelling good.
Yeah, it's true. Smells. I tell you, just as an example, my girlfriend is very good smeller, and so we can't even sit next to people in restaurants if they smell bad. I can't smell a thing, which is, I think, a blessing now that I realize it. Brett Dickinson. I think home sellers need some serious help in this market, and you might just be the guy for them. So tell us, anyone currently with a home on the market that's not under contract, what advice do you have for them, or someone who's about to put the home on the market?
Well, to me, it's all about your strategy, your tactics, and your goal. So many sellers, when they originally go on the market, they have a price strategy and a price goal. And when they work with their agent, who I agree with the panel that they need to be experienced, knowledgeable of their particular market, because every market's different, but also every price point is different. So I think it's really important to evaluate your market, have a very clear strategy. And part of that strategy has to be the fact that people right now are extremely visual. And so they're looking at pictures, videos. And when a lot of agents talk to you about marketing, there's basically 2 kind of streams of thought in marketing. And a lot of the marketing is to make the seller happy. And then the other stream of marketing is what actually sells the property. So you want to evaluate the marketing and see if you're getting people in. Secondly, what you really want to do is adjust your tactics as you go along. So for example, let's say you picked a strategy, you're moving along in a certain direction, you go, wow, that strategy didn't work because we priced the property in the wrong place. Well, now we got to adjust our tactics and we got to make some little different things that actually can make a very big difference. And then as far as your goals are concerned, sometimes you have to readjust them because the market will tell you what's happening and what's not. So you want to constantly be looking at comps and what's actually happening in your present market. It's a living, breathing thing.
It is. And you make a great point, by the way, that's Brett Dickinson with Pacific Sotheby's, is that don't fight the market. You're not right. The market's right. A lot of people do this in the stock market and they say, no, I know this company is worth more money. No, the market is always right. That is the truth serum. And in real estate, it's no different. Voltaire Lepi, home sellers, I feel, need some help right now. Anytime we see the market having 50% plus of the homes that are listed for sale with price reductions, that means that home sellers need help. So give us your best tips. Anyone who's got a home on the market currently that is not sold or under contract, or anyone who's about to put their home on the market.
Right. So, with, let's say, 70% of all the properties right now having price reductions, if you're thinking about putting your property on the market, before you even get there, you got to know some important things, like why you're selling. So basically, whenever you meet with your agent, you need to do a checklist of what's important to you. Okay. So if price is important to you, you need to ask the questions, hey, compared to a market, what price do you get on average of the list price? 98% of the list price, 100%. If timing is, if you want to sell it fast, you want to ask the agent, hey, what's your average compared to the market time? So you got to have all these questions prepared for the agent before you even list on the market, because a lot of people just choose agents just because of the way they look, or if they like someone.
They wear vests, for example.
Exactly. I mean, if we were in this room right now, I'd be the last one to get chosen. But what I'm trying to say is, you need to find out why you're going to choose an agent. What's important to you? Okay, that's number one. Number two is you got to list it right the first time. The major thing that actually sells a home is the price. So I know marketing is important, or staging, etc., but the price is the most important thing. So it's kind of like, if you go on a date with a girl and you show up and you didn't shower, you didn't, brush your teeth, you're not going to get a second date. Same thing with homes. If you put it on the market, it isn't listed right, the buyer isn't going to come back, even after you reduce the price.
That's true.
So at the end of the day, you got to do it right the first time, the first impression.
Yeah, so if you're looking to sell your home or you need dating advice, Voltaire is the person that you can lean on in these types of situations. It's Voltaire Lepi with Foster Hamilton and representing Chula Vista today. Dale, let's get a quick update on the score before we head into the final lightning round segment. Tell me where we're at.
Okay, so we have a new leader right now. Voltaire is out and ahead with 15. Brett and Seth both have 13, and Rob has 11.
Okay, still a very close race. And then so coming up, we have the rapid fire segment. In the rapid fire segment, we're going to have you fill in the blank for this. You are buying too much house when blank. Our experts will let you know when you're overpaying for a home. When we come back, you can get all of your questions answered. You can get more information about our guests at therealestatedebate.com or by calling 888-888-0154. We'll have our rapid fire final segment for the win coming up when we come back.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Debate with Mr. Credit on AM 760 KFMB.
All right, welcome back. Very close match we have today on the Real Estate Debate. You can check out all past shows, contact all of our guests at therealestatedebate.com, and get all of your real estate questions answered for free on the Real Estate Helpline. 888-888-0154 is the number. It's time for our final segment, our rapid fire segment. Rob Cunningham, you are up first, my friend. You are buying too much house when?
You're buying too much house when you're designating bedrooms for each of your pets.
Brett Dickinson, you're buying too much house when?
When you have to cut your son's tennis lessons to make the payment.
Oh, wow. Tennis lessons have to go away. Sorry, Junior. Voltaire Lepi, you're buying too much house when?
When you can't afford to enjoy a ball game or go to the movies.
Okay. Yeah, if you have to cut that out, that's too much house. Seth Robinson, you're buying too much house when?
When your ability to afford the payment requires you to show a much higher level of financial discipline than you've been able to previously achieve.
Very good answer.
Rob Cunningham, you're buying too much house when?
When you're living in the maid corners and renting out the rest of the house.
Brett, you're buying too much house when?
When your monthly payment is more than 50% of what you make a month.
Okay, thank you. Amen to that. Voltaire, you are buying too much house when?
When you depend on extra hours at work just to pay the mortgage.
Yeah, if you have to ramp up your hours or need to get a little bit of extra money, you're probably too close. Seth Robinson, you're buying too much house. When?
When you ask Grandma for her $5 birthday money early.
to make the payment. Rob Cunningham, you're buying too much house.
When there's room for your in-laws to stay for long periods of time. Who wants that?
I don't know. Some people like their in-laws, or at least
say they do.
I've heard of it. I mean, I haven't experienced it personally. Brett Dickinson, you're buying too much house.
When you have to go into your 401k, your retirement account to make ends meet.
Yeah, absolutely. Voltaire Lepi, you're buying too much house.
When you absolutely need your lender to pay all of your closing costs.
Good one. Seth Robinson, you're buying too much house.
You're buying too much house when you justify the higher payment by telling yourself you're going to give up coffee.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Rob Cunningham, you're buying too much house.
You're buying too much house when no one will lend you the money to buy it.
Yeah, that's for sure. And it could be a lot of things involved with that. Brett Dickinson, you're buying too much house. When
you bought a house with a bowling alley and you lost one of your kids in there.
Voltaire, you're buying too much house.
When you ask your mama to co-sign.
Yeah. That's an interesting one. That is a very interesting one. That is actually totally legit. A lot of people do it. This is our rapid fire segment on the real estate debate. You can get more at therealestatetedebate.com. Seth Robinson, you're buying too much house. When?
You're buying too much house when your life has to run perfectly smooth for you to be able to afford it. No hiccups, no broken cars, no nothing.
Yeah, good point. If you don't have any emergency fund, you're in an interesting situation. Rob Cunningham, you're buying too much house. When?
You're buying too much house when one of the walk-in closets is designated strictly for your wife's shoes.
Now, she might think that you're buying just the right amount of house, though.
Right.
She'd be a very happy wife.
Yeah, I was going to say, perspective might matter in that particular one. I know exactly where my girl goes when we walk into houses, and it's to the closet. Brett Dickinson, you're buying too much house.
When you own a rental property, and if the renter happens to skip town on you and doesn't come in with the rent, you can't make the payment on your own home.
Okay, yeah, if you can't make the payment without the renter, don't buy the investment property. Great advice. Voltaire Leper, you're buying too much house.
When you start riding your bicycle to work with reasons other than to save the environment or to exercise.
If you have to turn in your car to pay the house off, yeah, I think that's kind of a red flag. Seth Robinson, you're buying too much house. When?
You have to hire a staff to maintain it, and you live alone.
Yep, good one. Rob Cunningham, you're buying too much house. When
you're buying cars to fill your garage.
To fill your garage. Did you ever experience that, Brett, over in La Jolla?
That does actually happen.
It's an 8-car garage. I think I need to buy 6 more cars. Brett Dickinson, you're buying too much house. When
you're 20% over what anything else is selling for in the market, but you got to have this view.
You got to have this particular one. Voltaire Lepi, you're buying too much house. When
you start squeezing every single ounce out of your toothpaste just to pay your mortgage.
If you become an efficient toothpaste user, that's pretty far down the line. Seth Robinson, you're buying too much house. When
the appraisal comes in $40,000 less than what you're willing to pay for it, and you still buy it at that price.
Yeah. Yep. I'd say you're definitely overpaying at that point. That's for sure. Rob Cunningham, you're buying too much house. When
you're subleasing a section of your house as a yoga studio.
Or anything else for that matter. Brett Dickinson, you're buying too much house.
When you have to borrow the money for the down payment.
Yep, I agree. I'm surprised no one took that one. Well done, sir. Voltaire Lepi, you're buying too much house. When
you don't have enough money to fix it up afterwards.
Yeah. The very good point Voltaire makes there is that things happen to houses, and so you've got to be prepared for that. Seth Robinson, you're buying too much house. When
you take such a hefty second out on your first house to buy the second one that you're putting them both at jeopardy.
Yeah, people used to do that all the time. Really bad move. A lot of people got burned. Good stuff. Rob Cunningham. This is where it starts to get interesting. Once we get on about the 10th round in the rapid fire segment, it's where you start to have to really dig and really think about where is some really good advice buried in the knowledge that is my brain right now. Rob Cunningham, you're buying too much house.
When you're looking in the mirror at night and you think about the payment and you feel your stomach sink.
Yeah.
That's when you know you're buying too much house.
Yeah, that's a good, they say trust your heart. I believe that. Some people feel it in the solar plexus or the stomach, wherever it's coming from, trust it. Brett Dickinson, you're buying too much house. When
you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders and it's affecting your relationships with all the people around you.
Yep, agreed. Voltaire Lepi, you're buying too much house. When
When you take out a interest-only loan on a primary residence.
Very, very good one. I'm surprised, that those programs aren't being utilized more often, honestly. But at the same time, and when someone does that because they have to, it is definitely a red flag. Seth Robinson, you are buying too much house when?
When you're counting on that raise or that promotion in the future in order to really afford it.
Okay. Last time through, Rob Cunningham, you're buying too much house when?
You're buying too much house when your kids were in the same pair of shoes to school this year as they were last year.
I'd say that's a super red flag. Brett Dickinson, you're buying too much house when?
When you go to qualify for the loan and you can't, and you get the seller to carry back an 80 or 90% of the value.
Good one. Walter Leppi, buying too much house when?
When you don't have at least 6 months reserve.
Oh, yeah. I like that one. And Seth Robinson, you are buying too much house when?
When you're going against the advice of your friends and your family or your financial accountant, and you move forward anyway.
Okay. Yeah. If you're not listening to the people you trust, trust is something that needs to be redefined really in the world of finance. We believe the things we see online more than we do the people that are professionals. And I think it's just, it's causing us to get cloudy with too much information. So Dale Intrican, our judge today from homelendingsandiego.com. Dale, give us the rundown. What do the points look like and how is it all sitting?
All right. So I had to do some late minute tallying there.
Okay.
We're going to work our way up from fourth. We'll go with Rob with 22.
22 points. That's a lot of points. Good job, Rob.
Some great answers today.
Yeah, that's a
these are
lot
high
of
scores.
points.
These are high scores.
22 is what won last week, by the way, Rob.
Brett and Seth both tied with 25.
Okay. Brett and Seth tied with 25.
And Voltaire ended up with 27.
Wow. Voltaire Leppi, you have won the real estate debate, my friend. Not only is he representing Chula today, but now representing one of only 3 people to be a multi-time winner on the real estate debate. Voltaire, how do you feel, man?
I feel awesome, man. I mean, these guys are really smart. They know their stuff, really good agents, solid. So it's a really good feeling.
So we'll give you a chance here to just say something about yourself for people out there who might be looking to find an agent. Tell them why they should choose you and how they can find you.
Yeah, I mean, if you're out there looking to buy a home, you could call me. I offer a 23-month satisfaction guarantee. Basically, if you're not satisfied with your purchase after 23 months, I'll go ahead and I'll help you sell the property and get out of that property and won't charge you a fee. That way, you can move on to another home, different area or whatnot. So at the end of the day, we want you to be satisfied with your purchase and your dealings with us. And my number is 619-852-2222. 852-2222.
Okay.
So we're here to help.
All right. Great stuff. Appreciate that. That's Voltaire Leppi. He is now a multi-time winner on the real estate debate. You can find all the shows on the realestatetedebate.com. I do want to give a chance for our other guests to also give a little pitch. Tell us what's kind of going on. Brett Dickinson from Pacific Sotheby's in La Jolla. Brett, tell people about yourself and how they can reach you as well.
Great. So I'm in the La Jolla office, and the market is very active over there, as we discussed earlier. Anyone that needs any assistance with their properties, we have an incredible marketing platform. I go also to Asia quite a bit. So I have a whole platform I do with Beijing, Shanghai, and I've done a big outreach over there. So a lot of our buyers are now coming from all over the world. And so we are very set up for that, and we'd love to help you with your property. My number is 858-204-6226.
Okay, Seth Robinson.
Yeah, Seth Robinson. I'm with Red Tree Realty. I specialize in the Bay Park, Bayho area, Central San Diego. I study that market every day of my life. I know it like the back of my hand. And if you would like to sell a property in that area, give me a call at 858-922-7081.
And Rob Cunningham?
Hey guys, I'm Rob Cunningham with RE/MAX. You can reach me on my cell phone at 619-804-5972. And I've been selling homes all over San Diego County for the past 10 years. So if you need an opinion on what it's going to take to make sure that your home sells in a rising inventory market, please give me a call. I'll give you no obligation consultation and make sure that you're on your way. Thank you.
All right. Great stuff from all of our contestants today. You've been listening to the Real Estate Debate. The conversation continues at therealestatedebate.com. Coming up is Talking Money with Mr. C right here on AM 760 KFMB.